Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is Jan Roberts from Key Leadership Institute in Johannesburg, South Africa. And to continue on my series of leadership excellence, which I've also posted as newsletters in LinkedIn, where you can subscribe to it as well. I decided a while ago to also put them in video form, as it might be easier to listen to this or even watch it. So this one is the fourth one, and I'm going to talk into executive presence in the workplace. Now, I'm doing this because recently in several of my executive coaching sessions, the subject of executive presence came up. What is it? How can people improve on it? So this is why I'm actually dedicating this particular video to such an intriguing and important area of leadership development. So to begin with, what exactly is executive presence? So it is the combination of personality and character traits that make a dynamic executive. It's the ability to inspire others to be assertive in their roles through the consistent demonstration of confidence and clear leadership. We need that in so many places around the world. Executive presence allows leaders to understand their team members' needs in correlation with the needs of the businesses they run. So, as an executive presence is composed of many individual characteristics that are essential to good leadership. Now, as I said, I've already done, I think, 35 newsletters on leadership excellence, and every one has a different aspects of it. So you can, again, follow that. But when combined, they actually make an executive who can become the driving energy of a company. And for this reason, employees with executive presence skills, often in leadership positions, are promoted into such position, and quite rightly so. So, how important is executive presence? Well, I already said, those that show it or have a tendency to usually get promoted. So that's already the first one. But the other answer is simple. It's very important. See, in an increasingly competitive workforce, having a compelling executive presence will give you the edge to be a successful leader. A leadership role demands that you be effective in your communication, concise in your plan making, and self-aware of improvements opportunities. Now, self-awareness is also part of another newsletter I will talk into about EQ, and that'll be one that will come very shortly. But whether you are stepping into a board meeting, facilitating a staff retreat, or leading a virtual meeting, your presence as an executive needs to shine through. See, developing executive presence takes time and focus, but understanding this vital skill and how to apply it will already set you aside from other leaders. See, high-performing organizations, or HPOs as they're called, place a large emphasis on developing executive presence amongst their leaders. See, these organizations are more likely to prioritize executive leadership presence as a competency than their peers. Now, there are quite a few different benefits of having an executive presence. I've already mentioned one or two of them, but as a leadership competency, I'm going to mention a few of them here. The first one is that it actually strengthens company culture. See, executive presence encourages behavior that are in line with the company culture. It also improves organizational presence. Executive presence increases the organization's overall performance. It helps managers manage their teams, because having a strong executive presence helps leaders manage their teams better. It also improves customer relations. See, executive presence enables better interaction and relationships with their clients and customers. It also facilitates leadership development, because executive presence provides a useful framework for leadership development. And it also helps with promotions. See, it enables HR to identify people with leadership capacity and potential. And as I said earlier on, they will look for them and they will put them into leadership or potential leadership positions. So if you are ready to develop your executive presence, here are just some simple steps you can follow to start building your executive presence already. The first one is have a vision and communicate it clearly. See, a leader should have a clear vision of where they want to go and know how to communicate in a way that inspires and motivates their team. I mean, it's very difficult to take a team on a journey if you're not sure where that journey is leading to yourself. But it's essential to know the details of your strategy as well as having a big picture vision. So it's not only in the big picture, but it's also in the details. Because this allows you to communicate with your colleagues clearly and use simple language and deliver your message with calm and confidence. Now, in our speaking and presentation workshops, we provide a holistic and usually heart-centered approach to connecting effectively with others. See, I always say it doesn't matter whether you're a coach, a trainer, a speaker, a leader, a facilitator, whether you're working in your community, whether you're running a company, whether you speak to one or 1,001. When you learn to connect instead of just a head level, when you connect at a heart level, you will start building relationships. And leadership is really, in its simplest form, all about building relationships. Because I said this before, if you can't build relationships, you'll never become a great leader. The second one is have an awareness of others' perception of you. See, if you aspire to leadership roles, it is actually crucial to project yourself as a reliable and experienced person on whom others can depend. Now, if you're looking at values, I'm a values-based leadership specialist as well, trust and accountability come to mind there immediately. They are so important. For this reason, it is important also to seek feedback from peers, mentors, or coaches in order to understand how others see you. Now, again, if you go to sports personalities and people in great positions in any walk of life, you'll probably find out that they've actually got a coach or a mentor or both or more than one. I once heard that one of the major golfers, Tiger Woods, I just couldn't think his name, Tiger Woods, somebody said he had 8 coaches for different areas of his golf, of course, mostly in business probably as well. But this information to identify any executive presence qualities that you already have, as well, of course, as the areas you may need to improve on. And the ones you need to improve on, if you don't know them yet, a coach also helps you with the awareness, or a mentor. So then you might need a coach or at least an accountability partner to walk that part of the journey with you to get that area right, if that makes sense to you. The third one is build your community skill. Those as well, but communication skills. See, giving instructions with a good attitude inspires your colleagues to carry out their work effectively. Now, we have to remember now that the world has become a much smaller place with many companies working internationally, but also people traveling all over the place. And you have people from all kinds of backgrounds, even though Donald Trump said something about DEI, he wants to scrap it, but that was another misunderstood thing. My wife is one of the foremost DEI experts in the world, Dr. Arthur Moore Roberts. And it's not about putting the wrong people in the wrong places, because that's what's happening. It is actually understanding other people from other backgrounds, from cultures, from all these other kind of areas. I'm going to speak into it anyway in another session, but it is understanding others, try to understand before being understood, and then becoming more inclusive. That doesn't mean that you should be left out, but becoming more inclusive of others and keep yourself included by knowing all those kind of things, if that makes sense. But work on improving both verbal and non-verbal communication skills, because I would recommend for many people to practice public speaking, because Warren Buffett highly recommended it a long time ago as one of the most important leadership skills. He's got a beautiful story behind it. That at first he was signing up on a Dale Carnegie course, and he took his money back and he ripped his check up and never went. Eventually he did, I think 6 or 8 years later. But that's a story by itself. But also learn to refine your message that is understood by all. And for that, I'm also a behavior analysis consultant, and we talk about learning styles, all these kind of things. You need to get to know yourself first. But again, you can do this by hiding the services of a coach, by practicing in front of a mirror, by recording yourselves on video, or delivering your message to a small, friendly audience. That is where you can learn these kind of things. And I always say, record yourself, like I do this now. But pay attention to not only the words you use, but also your body language and tonality. both of which carry more weight than merely words. What's the name now? Merabian. He was a guy who figured out that from 100% of a presentation or a talk or anything that you connect with, he tried to make people guess how much of it was actually the words they used. He says, well, let's start on the other side. Tonality, body language, and words are important. So we're talking about the message as well as the messenger. Now, tonality, people guessed all kinds of things, but 38% was tonality. And then body language was actually 55%. Now, there's people in the personalities here, sitting here, listening to this, already figured out that there's only 7% left. And indeed, 7% is the words we use. But what do we spend most of our time on? On the words we use. And we forget about tonality and body language, that sometimes people don't remember exactly what you say. They remember how you made them feel. And that comes through your energy, your body language, your tonality, all these kind of things. And the tonality and the body language is the messenger, and the words, of course, is the message. I'm not saying it's not important, of course, but it's not quite as important as you think it might have been. And I hope that makes sense. So, identify any aspect that you could improve on. And I'm pretty sure most of the time it's the body language and the tonality, and that certainly could be improved on with that heavy weight of it. Then the fourth one is listen more. Now, leaders get used by talking a lot, so much so that they sometimes forget to listen. But listening, and I'm talking about really listening, helps develop your executive presence because it makes your team feel seen, heard, understood, and valued. As the late Stephen Covey said, try to understand before being understood. And for that to happen, you should talk less and listen more, sometimes much more. So you observe others who have a strong executive presence, and you will notice they focus all their attention on the person who's speaking and ask a lot of good questions. Now, acquiring coaching skills will really be of great benefit as it teaches you to ask better questions by being fully present and listening intently. Now, I run half-day coaching workshops for managers and leaders to be able to have those kind of coaching conversations. And that is all about, coaching is all about asking great questions and listening more, to be present. And I can recommend a great leadership book on this subject as well by John C. Maxwell, my friend and mentor. It's called Good Leaders Ask Great Questions. Now, the last point I want to make is continuous improvement. Kaizen. It goes without saying that executive presence is a continuous journey of growth and improvement, as leadership development should be anyway. I mean, I always talk about it. Leadership is about self-leadership, and self-leadership is about personal development, daily, intentional personal development. Because if you don't work on yourself daily, you will fall short of becoming a good or great leader. See, regularly assess and refine your skills to adapt to evolving challenges and expectations in the workplace. Because let's face it, things are changing so fast, and I don't know about you, I can't keep up with all of it. I don't need to keep up with all of it, but it's happening faster all the time. So to stay at least relevant is already sometimes a challenge for people. But communicate changes and additional requirements clearly and timely, so any needs can be incorporated as early as possible. Now, of course, there is other steps that can and should be taken, but already focusing on these key areas and consistently working on personal and professional development, individuals can enhance their executive presence and make more positive impact in the workplace. Now, if you enjoy these kind of videos, subscribe and also share it with other people, because I'm going to do more of them. I've already got 35 newsletters done, and I do one every second week. You can also go to LinkedIn, Jan Roberts, JAN.ROBBERTS. You can find me there and subscribe to my LinkedIn, but also subscribe to this channel. And if you've got any questions or want to connect with me on discovering how you can become better in your leadership development and your leadership excellence and your leadership presence, you can connect with me, as it says at the bottom there, at keyleadership.com, or email me at JAN@keyleadership.com. I look forward to speaking to you again soon, and I wish you a most amazing rest of your day. Take care.